I am going to show you how to make these sidestep cards. I'm going to do a really quick video here. Last night I tried to do a video and I ran out of time, so we're going to make this quick. These are really cute cards and they're not, you know, your typical fold and cut card, so that makes them fun and unique to do. They're both, I made them both owl cards, and this one I cut off my Cricut, and the other one I used a stamp image and cut that out. So you can decorate them any way you want, and let's get started on how to make it. First, you're going to need an 8.5 by 11, or I'm sorry, an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. And we need to make a slit in this card, so we're going to make 2 marks on here so that we know where to start and stop with our slit in the paper. First, you're going to make a mark 1 inch up from the bottom, and you're going to go 2.5 inches over. Once you get that lined up and your ruler facing the right direction, you will make a mark at 2.5 inches. Just a little teeny mark. You can erase it later. Probably won't even see it depending on what paper you use. So now we're going to make another mark 2 inches down from the top of this piece of paper. And we're going to go 2.5 inches over, just like the bottom, and make a little mark. So those 2 marks are going to tell me where to start and where to stop with the slit. So, I'll bring my cutting board over here, and we're going to place this in at the 2.5 inch mark, and we are going to cut. Now, some cutting boards have that little arrow and all sorts of nice markings to tell you where you are when you're cutting. Mine has this big round thing and not the arrow, so that's why I made the marks. But if you have the little arrow, it might be easier for you to tell where you're stopping and starting. So we're going to go from one dot to the other, and it is best to fall short when you're doing this, then go over that little mark you made with the pencil. If you go over, you can't fix it. You have to start over. If you fall short, like I did, I fell way too short because my cutter here could use a new blade. So I'm going to put this back in and go over it one more time. A little harder this time. So, like I said, it's best to fall short, and that one's perfect, that one's right on, and this one's a little short. So what I'm going to do is going to take my scissors and finish cutting up to that line, and that will be good for that. So there we have our slit. So now we have 2 sides. This is how you're going to look at it. You have 2 sides. You have a 3-inch side on this side of the slit mark, and you have a 2.5 inch side on this side. The 2.5 inch side is where you're going to make all those score marks to make the steps in the card. On this side right here, where you see all those steps, that is the shorter side, the smaller side. And there is a top and a bottom to this card, so you have to be mindful of that when you're putting this in your paper trimmer or your score pail to make your score marks. You have a end that has 1 inch from the bottom to here, and then you have an end that has 2 inches from the bottom to the slit mark. You're going to start your score marks on the bottom part that has the 1 inch mark. Hope that makes sense. So when we put it in our paper trimmer, here's our 2-inch section, our 3-inch section. We're going to put it in so that the 2-inch section is at the top, going into our paper trimmer, and we're going to start at the 1 inch to make our first score mark. And we are going to make our square mark all the way over to the section where we made that slit. You're not going to come all the way across the paper with it. Just to the mark where you made your slit. Now we're going to move it over to the 2-inch mark, and we are going to mark that, and then over to the 3 1/4. So we've gone 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 1/4, and now over to the 4 1/2 inch mark. Make sure I got that right. 4 1/2, and now all the way over to the 6 1/2 inch mark. And that completes our scores for the 2 1/2 inch side. Now we need to make a score mark on this side. So I'm going to flip it over this way so that this part of it is up closer to my thing. And we're going to make a score mark from the 1 inch mark up to 4 1/4. So put that in there, go up to the 4 1/4. Now remember, we're on the 3 inch side now. You make only one score mark on the 3 inch side, and that's what we're doing now at 4 1/4. And we're going to go right over to the center where we made that slit. It's actually not the center, but pretty close. So there we have it. There's all of our score marks, and basically the card is done except for to fold it. So I'm going to fold it right there at that 4 1/4 inch mark that we made. And remember, your stairs are on your right, so you're going to start folding your stairs. Now when you start doing this, it's going to feel like something's not right. It's not going to fold right, but it comes together once you get going. So there's the one fold. You fold the back of it down, and then you fold this back, and then this down, and then this back, and then this part down. And as you see, we are coming together with the card. And now you just want to make sure that's all lined up nice. And you're going to make your creases, make it nice and crisp and fold them nicely. And there you have it. There is the side step card. It wasn't really hard. The hardest part, I think, for me was figuring out how I was going to make those score lines, because I didn't have that handy dandy arrow on my cutting board. But I figured it out, and it wasn't too bad. So there you have it. There is the side step card, and you can decorate this any way you want. I just took pattern paper and made it like an 1/8 inch smaller than the actual card base, and I just adhered it to the back of here. Now on the back of this one, as you see, it's taller. It meets up with this here. So you would just cut that piece at 4 1/4 so that it would match up with that when you close it up. And then I just decorated it. I stamped on here, and I cut pieces off my Cricut. And the inside, if you wanted to, you could layer a piece of paper in here too and write a little message in there to whomever you wanted to give the card to. So this one I did with my aunt in mind. She's battling leukemia right now, and orange is the color they use to represent leukemia awareness. So this I did for that reason. And here is this one that I did with some stamped images. I used a heart stamp to make the background paper here, and this I cut on the Cricut. And I stamped the owl with the stamp that comes with Who's Your Valentine's kit. And I added little googly eyes, and it came out really cute, and I liked it. So I hope you enjoyed the card, and if you get a chance, make one. They're fun, and thanks for watching.